about 007 and the film industry. So I'm going to quickly try and go through the film industry with you as quickly as possible. On the board, on your screen, are the 5 main processes that a film goes through that you need to know about. In pre-production, you've got the script writing, the casting, the getting together your crew, doing your recce's to go and find your settings or your venues for each scene. You've got the costume making, you've got the makeup artists, script writing, edits, they're hiring the director, etc. So the production company are the ones who organize all of this. The production is actually filming it, actually going out to all the different places and filming it. Remember, films are filmed out of order. You don't film each scene in order as it comes in the film. That would not be cost effective, especially if one scene's filmed in the UK, another scene's filmed in, I don't know, in Finland, and then the next scene's back in the UK. You're not going to keep jumping backwards and forwards. You're going to film all of the scenes are in one place, then all of the scenes are in another place. So the production is the actual filming of the film, of the movie. The post-production part is the editing, where all of the shots are put together. They put on the non-diegetic sound, so the soundtrack that goes underneath. They're filming they're creating the title sequence, which is a massive thing for James Bond films as well. Remember, the title sequences always have a theme tune by a famous singer, and that often used to go to number 1. If we still had the pop chart, it would still, it would be very big selling song. Post-production can also include pickups. Pickups are when a scene has been filmed, and when it comes to editing, it doesn't quite fit in with the editing process, and the production company say, actually, we need to refilm this bit. Also in post-production is any CGI that needs added. So maybe if you want to make an explosion look bigger, or you need to add some background in, especially in a James Bond film, that's where the post-production comes in. So that's the CGI, editing, and any pickups that need doing. During that time, during the production and post-production time during the post-production time is when the company, Sony in this case, or Eon, will send a copy of a rough cut of the film to regulators. So in the case of the British regulators, it's BBFC. So during post-production, they will send a copy of it to the BBFC to get a rating. And remember, they always want to get a 12 or a 12A, because that then means that they have a wider audience than obviously a 15, which restricts younger audiences from going and seeing it at the cinema. The marketing part of it can happen during production and post-production. So marketing is interviews with the stars, interviews with the director, interview with the person doing the soundtrack. They're involved in that marketing of the film. Sometimes it can happen even in pre-production, where you've got them building the buzz about the film. So marketing is where you are advertising the film. So film posters, trailers. So you could have a little quick trailer that doesn't show you any of the film, but just hints at what's coming out in the film when it's coming out. Then you will have a trailer which will include shots from the film, and then you might have an extended trailer coming later on. Also, the marketing can be involved with the website, with the where you have all the merchandise coming out for the new film. Also, marketing can take place with, as I said, film posters, but also if there are any linked products. So if you've got any product placement, you've got the Aston Martins together. So you might have something at Formula One in Silverstone with the Aston Martin team and the Aston Martins. You might have spots on TV programs advertising the film. Finally, the distribution is it going out to cinemas. Now, obviously, in the old days, it used to be a film reel. Now it goes out digitally, and often the distribution can happen where it's streaming online and in cinemas at the same time. So sometimes we can go for both at the same time. So distribution is when it goes out into the world and people are able to see it. More often than not now, it goes online. And with No Time to Die, it went out onto streaming platforms because it just kept getting put back because of COVID, and they knew they weren't going to get the numbers in the cinemas. Okay, and these are a breakdown of each event. So, producer, director, editor, and distributor. The producers involved throughout the whole thing. The producer is the one who secures the money, who secures the funding, who has the say on the actors, has the say on the director. The director's involved sometimes in pre-production, but mostly in production. Very little are they involved in editing. So they can have a vision, but actually the vision can be changed during the post-production with the editor and the producer. And the distributor is obviously involved in the distribution process. So the information about these are down here in the billing block. Very small writing. Obviously, the cast are seen as more important than the actual staff on the film, the crew on the film. So No Time to Die was produced and distributed by different conglomerates who specialize in certain areas of the film industry. They're all separate conglomerates who have come together to create one media product. So it's lots of horizontal integration with different companies. So our production companies are MGM, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, who are no longer involved with, Sony, sorry, who are no longer involved, and Eon Productions, who have been on board since the very beginning. And it's distributed by Universal Pictures and United Artists in North America. So the company that provided the financing are MGM and Eon. And the company that made sure it reached the final screens in the UK was Universal Pictures, obviously. So MGM, they are now owned by Amazon Studios. This is why all of the James Bond films are now available on Amazon Prime, because Amazon Studios had to buy out MGM, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, because they were having issues. So it impacts the production and distribution because Amazon have a lot of money. They are probably one of the biggest businesses in the world. And they also have their own streaming platforms where they can stream products such as the James Bond films, the 007 stories, films. So this is some articles about it. It will complement the Prime Video and Amazon Studios work. So obviously this was a very good merger. There are a lot of mergers that happen. I could be teaching something today that will change tomorrow. So there has been lots of mergers, but this was the major one. Okay, type of question you could be asked is, how does being part of a franchise help make a film successful? Remember, you need to be able to identify what a franchise, be able to refer back to No Time to Die. That's where a lot of you fell down last time, is that you're not actually referring to the product. You must always refer to the set product that you have studied. Okay, so remember, you have a pre-existing fan base. You have recognizable characters and storylines which bring in audiences. The marketing promotion is already there. The audience will promote a lot of it for you because you've already got that audience there. You've got the cross-promotional opportunities, so that cross-media convergence from merchandise, video games, and other tie-ins. You've got marketing synergy with success of other films in the franchise to market the new film. You've got brand recognition. Audiences really like to stick with the franchise. And as you know in your book, so we've got a class example of how to respond to this here. So I will leave this on the screen. So that's a class example to get you towards that 10 to 12 marks. Got a lot of media language in there. Okay. So I'm now going to move on to some other industry. So we're looking now at the website. So let's have a look at the website. Let me check that this is, oh no. As I said, I haven't prepared any of these lessons. These are just simply me going on through things for you. So thinking about why film franchises have websites, it's really important that you think about that, as I would have asked you to do, write bullet points. Always refer back to the 007 website, that it's got 60 years of James Bond. Remember, it's industry that you're being assessed on for James Bond. So as we know about James Bond, he's been played by 6 actors, all white and British. He drives fast, expensive cars. Remember the Aston Martin, but also Land Rover is also a big one for them. He's a fictional character. He's suave, sophisticated, and intelligent, so the hegemonic masculinity is created by a man called Ian Fleming. Like all action films, it visits exotic locations. He works for MI6, which is based on MI5, but it's MI6, which is the British Secret Intelligence Service. He's an action hero, used state-of-the-art technology designed by a character called Q. He's a womanizer. He has helpers that assist him in his missions, has various foes, villains to help battle in film, so that's where you apply prop. And he's a spy with codename 007. So how do websites benefit the film industry? Remember, you've got to talk about your key vocabulary. You know this from designing your own website, so make sure you use that media language. So let's go and have a look at the website now. Here it is. So they're not celebrating the 60 years now because we've gone beyond that. But on the top story is Judi Dench, who played M from GoldenEye to Skyfall. And she is a dame, and you know she's been a famous actress in the UK for decades and well respected. So putting a spotlight on her is a really important thing. Under news, we've got a companion. You can go around hidden cities and look at the Shadow Spectre, which is the big agency that MI6 are fighting. There's a science exhibition in Chicago, so it's a real global feel to the website. And then obviously spotlighting the cars there. We've got a lot of spotlighting of the action scenes, some of the visual effects, which is quite a nice one to look at. And then obviously we've got the merchandise. Lots and lots of very expensive merchandise, and always the vehicles. A wonderful James Bond car at the Lego store in Leicester Square. Go and see it, it's awesome. And there we got the Aston Martin DB5, which is probably one of the greatest supercars ever made, and obviously they're pushing it on the website. So the point of the website is to add to the experience of the audience. Again, it's about personal identity, isn't it? Through these action scenes, through the merchandise, through the cars, audiences personally identify with James Bond, but we're thinking about the industry. So let's go and have a look at the style, shall we? Because that's the page that we looked at the most. So we've got this really expensive pen, which let's go and have a look at it. So we'll go to the store. So we've got the Spectre logo here. Very famous. Spectre is, so we can now get the villains merchandise, and there is everything. Absolutely everything. As you can see, they're kind of encouraging it for Christmas with this use of fur, but we can get lighters, we can get jumpers, we can get wine stoppers. We can get a note card and envelope set so you can pretend to send your own messages from Spectre to people. We've got kids' t-shirts, board games, just everything with the logo on. So even now promoting the villain as something worthy of purchasing merchandise for. You've got the sunglasses, only £340. You've got the cufflinks, again, all about male style. As you can see, all of these are aimed at men, so they know who their audience are. We've got an old-fashioned tumbler, which is £120 because it's same as the one that Daniel Craig drinks out of in Casino Royale. We've got socks for £12. We've got a coin for £110. Again, very, very male. We've got the saffin mask, which is great, but that's £195. Again, everything is geared towards the high-end consumer. Oh, should we have a look at this? How much is the Fabergé egg? I doubt we can even find out how much it is. It's got 18 karat yellow gold, green guilloche enamel, diamonds, and blue sapphires. I'm not sure they're going to be able to tell us how much it costs. No, they're not going to tell us, are they? Fabergé eggs are world renowned for being extremely expensive. You probably have to go on a list. Let's see that. Oh, there we go. Right. So if you want this, you've got to part with £115,200. Let that sink in. Why would they do it if they didn't know people would buy it? Should we see how much the locket is? What do we reckon? Only 15,840. But it just goes to show you how they make money from this franchise. There is so many gifts, so many items to buy. So all you've got to talk about is, why do they have them? Well, 007 has them because how else would they make all this money? You know, you've got to keep the audience buying things. You've got to keep the audience engaged. They can then walk around as a living advert for your brand. And if people respect the person wearing the clothing or wearing the cufflinks or whatever, it gives an impression of that person that they are suave, sophisticated, important. Another reason why we have a website is to give information about the whole franchise. So you've got the films. It tells you about every single James Bond film. You can see the iconic pose throughout. And we've got the iconic film posters as well throughout. So there's all the James Bond films. We also have links. Instagram, X now, but they haven't changed it. It's still Twitter. We've got YouTube, Facebook, Discogs, Pinterest. We've got our two main production companies, Eon Productions and MGM here. So the website is there as a place for you to get news. So there we go. There's your revision video for the website. Good luck on Monday.